Tonight is Honorable Mathias Mpuuga to speak to us about his plans of Nyendo Mukungwe. Honorable Mpuuga, many thanks for joining us tonight. And your critics say that you abandoned the struggle when you left the National Unity Platform and that your political capital in Masaka is now being doubted. How do you convince voters that this seat isn't slipping away from you, you being the incumbent?
Well, good evening, Conry and viewers. First of all, I have no idea what the whole concept of the struggle is about. I get the sense that the construction of what this is about, in the view of some people, is very narrow and they are forgivable. But to answer you more aptly, Masaka City is one area that I know so well. I understand the demeanor of the people of Masaka. I have a fair appreciation of what they construct as issues dear to them. And one of them is quality leadership. Over the last 15 years, I've been their able representative, and they have not questioned my capacity, my ability to represent them, speak for them, and also demand for their fair share of the national cake. Therefore, I am very convinced that my track record speaks volumes, and the people of Masaka will vote for me again on account of my track record, and that changing the party is not new and it's not lost on me, and therefore that will not affect entirely my capacity to return to parliament. Inevitably, you lose one or two people, and that is natural and it's normal. But as I lose two, I gain 10, and I should be back in the 12th parliament. And I've tested this in the last couple of days in which I launched my campaign. Questions arise of a number of issues, but thankfully I'm able to respond to these issues because they're issues in public space.
Honorable Mpuuga, you say that, of course, you've been working for your people, making sure that they do get what they deserve from the national cake. But many say that residents there feel that service delivery in Nyendo Mukungwe has stagnated under your watch, and yet you have been in parliament, you've been one of the vocal members of parliament. How did this happen despite your national prominence?
I wish I got to know who is saying it's gone down and then compared it to when. For you to be able to say that it's gone down, you should have a scale to compare with any other generation of representation. What's not in doubt is that on the national scale, definitely service delivery has gone down. As a member of parliament, my space is entirely to ensure that I actually demand for Masaka's share of the national cake. 2, I hold government accountable. 3, I participate in legislation that enhances service delivery. Issues I've handled very well, and if anybody says it's gone down, then they then bring forward the scale, whether before me it was any better, or actually compare the level at which we have tried to make government account and deliver in Masaka City to surrounding constituencies or even other cities. We probably could have done better if all of us thought the same way, and if members of parliament in the region thought the same way and understood the issues of governance at the same scale. But I can tell you, Conry and viewers, is that in the midst of failed service delivery generally, Masaka can be isolated because the 3 MPs from the city have a fair understanding of government workings and therefore been able to demand for a fair share of Masaka's portion of the cake. I can't say we wouldn't have do better. We have an idea of what we want to do the next 5 years, and I contend that given an opportunity, Masaka will continue to shine. But we are not worse than neighbors or the worst around us.
Honorable Mpuuga, do you think that Masaka right now could be shadowed by, in fightings between different political parties and different political leaders, that the leaders that want to lead Masaka at large, instead of looking into some of the issues that remain stagnated, they are instead fighting with each other?
Yes and no. Yes, because there's one side of the contest that has elected to make these matters personal and have not raised any issue that relates to the expectation of the people in Masaka. My side has been consistent. We raise the bar in speaking to the issues of the voters, what we want to do, what we have done over the last 5 years, and I contend that we shall still continue to raise the bar and make these feasible, probable promises to our people, because some of the promises are not entirely in our space. They require a lot of lobbying, they require knowledge, and my side has a team that is knowledgeable on what needs to be done. And this is a courageous team that I lead from Masaka. So the insults, the abuses are throwing and flying from one side and is visible, and Masaka is watching.
There's still, of course, controversy surrounding your ex-gratia payout that continues to somehow shadow your campaign. Do you believe that this issue could, in one way or another, affect your campaign in Nyendo Mukungwe?
Yes, it did then, but as we speak now, it's been spoken about, and a lot of information has come through. People have now a fair understanding of the intentions of the distractors. And now the people of Masaka are able to know that indeed it is a question peddled, it's an issue peddled by people of ill will and those who are ignorant of government processes. And we have been able to openly speak about it. We have not run away from it to explain it. And because of our openness about it, there is now good construction of what it is all about. And it remains an issue behind us as the DF and a good section of the people of Masaka. The small section of noisemakers are indeed isolated. And I can tell you, January will show you that Masaka is better, Masaka is superior, Masaka has a political culture, and we shall keep it.
The NUP nominated and gave the party flag to Javira, who we actually invited to be on this particular panel with you, but communicated that he could not come. Do you believe that he has the capacity to replace you? Honorable Mpuuga, I'm asking that NUP, your ex-party, did nominate and gave the party flag to Javira, and he's competing against you. How would you assess his groundwork so far? Do you think that he has the capacity to replace you?
Well, you're talking about two things. His groundwork and his capacity. It's not me to judge how much he has done in terms of groundwork. Capacity is person to holder. Probably he thinks it's an easy thing to do because it's exciting to replace me. Unfortunately, it takes more than excitement. And Masaka is not the city you see on the tarmac. Masaka is a spirit. And the spirit of Masaka still moves with me. I'll sustain it. And it's Honorable Javza's right to try and contest with me. Indeed, by simply nominating to contest with me, I congratulate him. That's an act of courage, because for his profile to say he wants to come to Masaka and contest is truly an alien to the politics of Masaka. That's why he tells the people that he has been instructed, that he has been asked. So that kind of talk already undermines his capacity. He cannot speak to any record in public space, in leadership, in governance, in politics. He is a novice, but I respect him for the act of courage of saying he's coming up to stand and contest. Contestation is not a crime. I encourage him and others.
The Democratic Front has had a quick turnaround time in terms of establishing structures in a very short period of time, fronting candidates. How would you assess its groundwork when it comes to Masaka?
Well, it's not easy country because we are barely 4 months, and it's been a lot of hard work. One, to just alone identify serious candidates that can be asked to contest in a number of positions. It's been hard work, raising resources to be able to have them contest, and then sustaining them in the constituency where they are standing. It remains a tall order. We continue every day to mobilize resources to sustain our candidates. It won't be easy, but we're doing our best in the circumstances. What's not in question is that we have tried to look around for quality people. That when you speak about leadership, you cannot really undermine the quality of our candidates across the country. We did nominate 88 candidates. We contend that this is a sizable number for us as a young party to support and speak to the people in their communities. I intend to embark on a presidential caravan to go and visit these communities, speak to the voters, and encourage them to support the DF candidates so that we have a good representation in Parliament with a good quality to be able to spearhead the issues we have already communicated at the DF. As a younger party, we have already set ourselves an agenda in the 12th Parliament, and we want to go and speak to the people of Uganda to give us DF MPs to be able to try and expand and populate Parliament and speak to this agenda.
My last question to you, Honorable Mpuuga. We've seen, what has been going on in Masaka, NUP versus Democratic Front, and also see other political parties, including the NRM, trying to say that they want to regain Buganda for Museveni. Do you think that the NRM stands a chance? You've been on ground for all these months. Do you think that the NRM stands a chance when it comes to regaining Buganda for Museveni? In fact, they are talking about getting 126,000 votes in Buganda.
I think there are two issues we need to have into perspective. One is the performance of the current leading opposition party in Buganda. The choice of candidates that the NUP elected to choose, some of them, with due respect, are feeble if you look at them compared to those they want to replace. And therefore, you get the feeling that the NUP was giving help, either knowing it or unknowing it, to NRM in some constituencies. Secondly, the NRM, in general terms in Buganda, represents some level of political exhaustion. And therefore, if it were to make any gains, it cannot be made on the entire platform, probably in some enclaves of Buganda, where opposition parties either did not front serious candidates or they actually elected to replace the current crop of MPs with relatively, feeble unknowns, weak no-namers that could undermine the work of the last probably 25 to 30 years that has been galvanizing the opposition against the ruling party in Buganda. And I could be wrong, but I sense the fact that probably the opposition was rendering some help to NRM in terms of the choices made in Buganda.